These shoes are actually bakes, and we got them specially made. These are the only high heel bakes.
You love me for me. It's hard to believe.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful to all of you that have watched my previous video on Lisa Hilton, a part of the fashion history of Black wardrobe stylists that I started. I am so appreciative. I'm so grateful. I humbly thank you so much for supporting me. And to all the new subscribers, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for subscribing and showing your support by commenting. Everyone, all the constructive criticism that I've received, the feedback, I have taken that and got myself a mic. I'm giving you bigger energy, higher volume, and I want to be able to just continue to grow. So I really appreciate everybody, everyone. Be sure to share this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's just keep growing this fabulous community. I really appreciate you all. So let's jump in. He is considered one of the most humble and fashionable souls in the game. He has worked with one of the biggest R&B female groups of all time and the celebrity, a megastar to date, the iconic, legendary Ty Hunter. Give it up for him, y'all. Now, he was born in Austin, Texas on August 20th, 1972, which makes him a Leo. And, he was raised in a single parent home. He was raised by his mom, and he had a lot of inspiration from his grandmother, his great-grandmother, and the females in his family. So, as a child, the funds weren't always there, so he was able to use his environment by going to thrift stores like Goodwill and Salvation Army to get his sense of fashion. Now, he was heavily influenced by going to a concert that he was taken to with his dad, and that was the legendary, also iconic, original Supreme member, Diana Ross, and he was so inspired by her looks, the transitions of her outfits on stage during her performance, that he really set a blueprint for himself to go into fashion styling. He mentions in an interview with Texas Monthly, "I always loved fashion. I was best dressed in high school. I loved thrifting and vintage shopping with my grandmother and my great-grandmother. My foundation is these beautiful women who really allowed me to be myself and who taught me right and wrong. I wouldn't do certain things because I would just picture hurting one of them. I'm such a mama's boy. My great-grandmother was so funny, and my grandmother was the foundation of the family." So he talks about going to the thrift stores at that time, and if you didn't have the latest of the fashion trends, which were the Gerbeau jeans and the Calvin Kleins, you were teased. And unfortunately, that still takes place, I'm sure, for young children, the youth, even probably as an adult if you don't have the latest of the latest. So his creativity bloomed from there, and he was able to take pieces from the thrift stores and make them stylish. So he still loves vintage, and even to this day, he prefers to go to a thrift store rather than going to the shopping mall or to a boutique. We almost lost Ty at the age of 20, where outside of a club, coming from a party in Austin, Texas, he was shot. Fortunately, he is still with us, and 2 years later, he went on to have a beautiful daughter by the name of Treasure Hunter. So Ty was working for a company called Carbomedics, where he manufactured heart valves. And one day at work, him and a close friend were in the dressing room preparing for the day, and he noticed a scar on his chest, and he asked him about it, and his friend expressed to him that it was a heart valve. And from that day forward, he felt very conflicted about working in that environment. It was creating a negative atmosphere for him. So he, put in a 3-month leave with his boss and decided to transition to move to Houston, where he had a cousin that he ended up staying with. He states in an interview, even though I was making heart valves for humans, at that moment, I gained a true perspective about life and realized I needed to follow my dreams. I took a hiatus from my medical career, packed my car, moved to Houston, and started working for the retailer Booyaka Booyaka. He really enjoyed the environment of that store as they played reggae music all day and they had a waterfall inside. And he did, visual displays, and eventually he went on to work for BB where, women would come in there and talk to him about, how to get styled, what to wear, and he would say, very honestly with them, that looks a fool. Let me go back and find you something else. So women knew that he wasn't just looking at them as a commission. He was actually trying to help them look the best they can be. Which leads us up to, in 1999, he ended up meeting Miss Tina Lawson, Beyonce's mother, where they built a genuine relationship. So Miss Lawson would frequent the store, and on one occasion, the members of Destiny's Child was there, and she really admired the interaction that Ty had with each of the young ladies. And they were also becoming the talk of the town, so they were gaining a lot of exposure out of Houston. And she said to him, I'm going to get you out of here one day. He didn't believe her. So it was like 3 weeks later, he was off and he called her and he said, I'm just calling to see if you need any help with anything. And she was like, yes, meet me here. And he ended up getting his first major styling opportunity on set of the Survivor video and then the Grammys. He says, this is how his career started. It's not only just being in the right place at the right time, but also working really, really hard. So it was his first styling credit, and at that time, starting with Destiny's Child, they were very bootleg, as he says, and they just took what they had because they weren't allowed to pull from showrooms and designers. So this allowed them to be very creative, and Ty credits Miss Tina for learning how to work under pressure. So by the time 2001 came around, you couldn't count on one hand the times Destiny's Child was not styled in Miss Tina, Ty Hunter, and Jaime Zalea's creative fashion effort. So Jaime Zalea was their costume designer who did a lot of the earlier work when Destiny's Child was 4 members, and a lot of that fabric that was used was from high fashion fabrics in Midtown Houston, and he worked off the mannequins that were made to Destiny's Child's measurements. So it wasn't until Independent Woman dropped that these showrooms started taking the group seriously. In an interview with Soho House, Ty talks about, sometimes a showroom might say, we only want to style this person from the group, or you can only dress Kelly, you can only put clothes on Michelle, or you can only pull for Beyonce. So he loved the fact that these designers that were emerging at the time allowed him to take a chance and show a full story and have their beautiful designs on these 3 women. So the ones that got it, got it. So a lot of people have asked over the years, why is Michelle always in pants? And Miss Tina was very mindful of each of the members' figure and their preference. It was quoted that Michelle is very conservative and she doesn't like to show her legs, so she would always try to put her in pants. And I think it's important to note that when you do have a client as a fashion or wardrobe stylist, you do want to be aware of what they are comfortable with, but also challenge them to think outside the box and push the styling effort in how they dress themselves and you dress them forward. So these things, people take to heart and they remember when they want to continue to do work with you. So a lot of people may not know, but Ty worked with Beyonce's younger sister Solange on her solo career, and also Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams, the other 2 members of Destiny's Child, on their solo careers before Beyonce became her own solo artist. So when asked what's Ty's favorite Beyonce look, he always mentions his favorite is the dress down look in the Crazy in Love video, which was a regular tank top, jean shorts, and red pumps. He loves the look. He thought it was so glamorous. And he wanted the fans to be able to copy and emulate certain looks. So, everyone can't afford the latest fashion trend or high-end designers. So it ended up becoming a timeless look because everyone could do it and it was affordable. And a lot of people don't know, but the tank top actually had rhinestones in it. Beyoncé was wearing J brand booty shorts and Stuart Weitzman red pumps. Her looks from the Crazy in Love video is actually on display in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she's the first artist to ever be in the exhibit and not be an actual inductee. She will be eligible in 2027. He mentions a lot of artists switch people out with the snap of their finger, and he's been with Beyoncé since she was 16. So seeing her transform into a young adult on the set of Crazy in Love, he actually went off to the side and cried. So with the release of Crazy in Love music video in 2003, Ty's favorite album cover is Beyoncé's first album, Dangerously in Love, where she's bedazzled in the crystal top and simple blue denim jeans. So Ty mentions Beyonce's the type of person who's not into labels. She's like, whatever's hot, why not? And that's what he really admired about her. Again, he was able to work with a lot of young designers and start their careers, like Roberto Cavalli, Michael Costello, and Ruben Singer, because she was, free and able to allow these designers to work with her. So when he, works with new designers, he appreciates that he's able to help people in their career.
These shoes are actually vapes, and we got them specially made. These are the only high heel vapes.
For the 2005 Check On It music video, Ty told Complex Magazine that he created the heeled sneakers for the pink theme because at that time, Beyoncé needed something fabulous, funky, and that just didn't exist on the market. And it was him that decided to create this new aesthetic for the video. So what he did is he went to the store and he bought some vapes and he decided to add a heel. And he states, "I thought those boots were the coolest thing. They were so sexy. This is before the sneaker tennis shoe or the sneaker heel had even hit." So his design was inspired by the Manolo Blahnik Timbs Beyoncé wore in her Bonnie and Clyde video with Jay-Z. So to bring the idea to life, he ended up contacting Jaime Zalea for a heavy-duty glue he used to customize the shoe. And he states, he spent the night constructing them, cutting off the top of the sneakers for a more feminine silhouette and then adding a pink patent leather heel to the sole. In later years, Bape decided to create their own designs based off of Ty's originality. So some of you may remember House of Darion, which was a fashion house that was developed by Miss Tina and Ty that allowed them to come up with their own custom coordinated looks. And at that time, they had an intern, Raquel Smith, who has been an asset assisting Ty and Miss Tina on tours, music videos, and different creative projects for the team. Together, they created an intimate experience called Let's Talk that allowed aspiring stylists to engage in a networking opportunity where they shared dialogue on key topics in the industry. So for her iconic single in 2008, Single Ladies, she wore a simple black leotard that became a signature performance piece that is usually reserved for ballet. Through the years, there have been many variations of this look in metallic, latex, mosaic, crystal, and even an intricate black sheer lace that has the dramatic sleeves that gave a cathedral romantic Victorian feel. A special moment for Ty was at the 2011 MTV Music Awards, where she wore an orange lavande dress that she was beautifully styled in. And that performance that evening, Beyoncé announced she was pregnant with her first child, Blue Ivy. In that look, she wore a tuxedo that was custom designed by her mother. Paying homage to his style influence, Diana Ross, Ty styled Beyoncé in a Riccardo Tisci design at his time with Givenchy for the 2014 Met Gala in this beautiful bedazzled black gown that was a lot of people's favorite. And in an interview with People Every Day, Ty mentions this ensemble as a blessing in itself, as they were given many outfits to choose from, but some didn't even get a fitting. And it was himself, Raquel Smith, and Beyoncé all together that perfected the look, creating this ultimate stunning disco inspired gown. The next year, she wore a nude dress that was completely transparent, revealing her incredibly toned figure for the theme China Through the Looking Glass, and it was the same designer, Givenchy. And in 2016, she also wore nude that was for the theme Manus and Machina, Fashion in an Age of Technology, where she wore a fitted dress that was covered in this intricate pink floral beading paired with a simple nude clutch. In 2017, Ty expresses he really wanted to use black designers, and for Colin Kaepernick's event for Sports Illustrated, he styled Beyoncé in a Laquan Smith black and silver striped dress to present Colin Kaepernick with the SI Muhammad Ali Legacy Award. I think people see the final project and do not realize the sacrifices and compromises you have to make. I've missed birthdays and special moments with my daughter and family life. You give your life to this craft, and people see the red carpet and performances and think, I want to be a celebrity stylist. It's a lot of work, hard work, sleepless nights, sacrificing days and months on end. So Ty met Barack Obama in 2012, and he asked him, where do you go from here? So there's a lot of fun facts about Ty that people do not know, and honestly, it's kind of amazing what this gentleman has accomplished in his life. He was the first human emoji. He has his own emoticon app. He also created his own clothing line in 2014 called With Passion. In 2015, he created the Ty Light, which was a self-ready phone case designed to perfectly light phone selfies in the absence of good lighting.
I want the woman to feel happy, so I kind of went for more bold colors like magentas and yellows. That's kind of how this line came about. Every woman can point and say, that's me, from plus size to every race. It's just important to me.
In 2017, Ty launched an athleisure collection for women of all sizes called Ty Hunter by Reflex with retailer 602 that was exclusively for Foot Locker. In 2020, he collaborated with Hyundai and Korean designer Yeonhee Park of Gredulous to create a capsule collection. He's also done designs for EXO Eyewear and is a partner with SMF Global Consultants, where he manages high-profile clientele. He continues to actively support emerging designers, where he's worn pieces from Dope Tavio and has worked with a young designer out of Alabama named Splash by DKG. Ty has also collaborated with other fellow stylists such as Dapper Africa, where he states, I've always admired his use of different fabrics, prints, and colors. He had this great concept, and we decided to shoot in my backyard, which the concept was my brother's keeper. So it showed two stylists, rather two men of color, coming together to promote positivity and brotherhood. On Instagram, Ty goes by @TyTyrone, which if you follow his profile, you'll notice he posts inspirational quotes and happy memes called Ty's Yellow Pages, which is in a yellow and black color scheme. So I have to mention, Ty's stylist hat is not completely off. As of 2020, he works with hit TV series Pose sensation Billy Porter, and he mentions in an interview, I feel good because he's happy and is really inspiring. The fact that everything started happening for him in his 50s, and at that time, Ty had just turned 50. And he jokes with him because he came in thinking he's an older man, I can go at a good pace. But when he started working with him, he realized it's almost like a Beyoncé schedule. But he noted it feels good because he loves fashion, and as much work as it is, it's easier because he lets him do whatever he wants and he's not afraid to go there.
What was a moment for you that you can tease out of the book? Maybe a personal moment, a turning point in your life outside of all the amazing, beautiful things that you do?
The whole process of losing my father to cancer, both of my parents were diagnosed with cancer at the same time. My dad had prostate cancer. My mom is currently going through chemo and stuff for breast cancer. Just that whole part of just learning my own strength and just being there for them and being the truth and just staying positive. I lost my dad to prostate cancer.
So Ty's new book that was released on November 15th of this year is entitled Makeover from Within: Lessons in Hardship, Acceptance, and Self-Discovery. And it features a foreword from Beyoncé and an afterword from Billy Porter, along with encouraging quotes from Tina Knowles, Michelle Williams, Kelly Rowland, Rosaria Dawson, Jennifer Hudson, Tashina Arnold, Kelly Osbourne, and Naomi Campbell. I will say, while editing, my book came in the mail, as you can see, and it is very inspiring. I'm not done yet, but I really appreciate his memoir and the discussion about his life. So be sure to buy your own book. I bought mine on Amazon for $25.32, and I promise you will learn something even more unique about Ty.
Don't let your environment and don't let people steal you from your dreams. I'm a country boy from Austin, Texas. I end up working with the biggest female group. I end up working with the biggest star. We grew up together. I wasn't a fashion stylist. I didn't go to school for this, but I've always had it in me. I always got best dressed in school. I always dressed. And just speak up. When you got an opportunity to be around somebody you admire, you got to speak up. Because what happens is, I prefer to go home and say, you know what, I met her. She was a... versus not going up to her at all and living with that nightmare. If it's something you want, it's your passion. This is life. It's not a rehearsal. This is it. You have to go for it. You have to step out and speak up. It's sayings that we got from our ancestors. Closed mouth don't get fed. We don't listen to it, go in one out the other, but we already got the people telling us what to do. Closed mouths don't get fed. So you have to speak up for something you want. The point is, find yourself, be true to yourself, love yourself, and if you have to take a social media break to clear your mind and quit comparing yourself to other people, when it's your time, it's your time.